Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and it's time to test out the fourth and most likely final summonable Konosuba unit, the MC Kazuma. So he is a water unit alongside Aqua, who, that made sense. Kazuma being water, not entirely sure what they're going on there, because now we have like 4 or 5 water EX units, but I think it's 5 because we got Rimuru, Milim, Rain, Aqua, and Kazuma. So we have 5 water EX units. Okay, cool beanos. But he does use a sword, but again, we are going to get his gear for free, so don't make anything new. I took this off of my water Hinata because I'm not using her right now, and so he can just use the gear. He's on Adventurer, Schemer, and Commander. So he is another single target pure damage ult, so he doesn't have a secondary effect like lowering defense or giving guard power or whatever one of those. It's just a straight 490%, and then you get the 200% buff, or 1.5 times buff with the double ult. His first skill lowers defense by 50% on everybody, and then also raises all of your attack by 50%. Now this is a very, very powerful buff. And it is useful actually it is useful everywhere, because everyone can use an attack buff and everyone can benefit from having their enemy's defense lowered. However, what makes, EX units or just straight up DPS units, a DPS unit, is that they generally have some kind of personal buff, and it's selfish. So like the new Light Shuna, she had a personal light buff attack and crit damage buff. Fantasy Milim has the crit damage and attack buff. Gazel, OG Gazel has his attack buff and his crit stuff and all of that. And then, units like Octagram, or not Octagram, but EX guy, you can call him a DPS unit, but he has no personal buff, right? It's just the ult damage for everybody, the crit for all physical, and then the orb change. So he doesn't have anything that really puts him far and ahead. But a lot of the DPS units, they already have an attack buff. So, granted, it will be smaller than this 50%, but they already have it. So would you really bring him to double that up? Maybe, because of his defense down. And there are a number of DPS units that don't get straight attack. They get light attack, or they get stun strike, or they get something else. So there are units that can be supplemented with this. And then again, the defense lowering is cool. Anybody can help that. And then his second skill is a green to blue orb change, which is good because the meta team did need a green to blue orb changer. People were using, Rimuru, Trainee for the ult rush and the special convert, but now we have Aqua. So it's definitely a necessary skill for the adventurer team. However, I wish that it was the orb swap like EX Rimuru has. So that is kind of unfortunate, but it's still a good skill nonetheless for the team. His Valor trait is terrible. His actual trait is pretty bad because I'm not looking to Kazuma to be the DPS unit. He's here to buff Megumin, so I don't need this Pierce Power extra 10% on him personally. So, cool beanas, whatever. And I'm also not going to put him in a support slot underneath Megumin because I need his buff for Megumin. So, yeah, that's about it. And then he gets extra 20% when he's 120. Please don't do that. And then he gets extra Pierce Power with Darkness, which again isn't really that big a deal because he's not the DPS unit. So, let's test him out. Alright, so the first team is going to be, with Megumin and Shizu. So we're not going to bring Darkness, we're going to bring Trainee instead to help force Megumin's ult since we're not bringing Aqua, since I wanted it just to be Kazuma. And then we're also bringing Raphael for his Pierce and ult resistance down. So, previously, before we had received, these two units, I was using Light Milim with her 45% attack buff to help Megumin out. So we will do this run with Kazuma, together, and then we'll cut, and then we'll come back and compare how much extra damage he helps Megumin do with his extra 5% attack plus the 50% defense down versus Light Milim's just straight 45% attack. So let's jump in. Alright, we skipped ahead to turn 2, because turn 1 is just an orb change with Megumin, and that's it. And we kind of need a good turn 2 to have this run go effectively, so we cut until I got a good turn 2. So thankfully, because Kazuma is a green orb changer, and we have Trainee, we can use both of their skills and get a full hand turn 2, which is kind of what we need. But it is good to note that because Trainee's ult rush skill is an attack skill first, it does get sealed by Gabiru, so we have to make sure that when we actually want to use it, she is not up front, because we kind of need that 35% ult gauge to help Megumin get to the EX level. But I mean, Kazuma is a good. Oh, we gotta turn that off. Kazuma is a good all-around unit. It's just he suffers from having buffs that are very generic. Right? There's not a lot of people who do defense down, which I'll give you that. But the attack buff, again, there's a lot of DPS units that give themselves attack buffs. And do you really want to take up that slot with him just for the defense down, or do you want to bring him or swap out a unit who maybe could do a little bit more damage instead of doubling up something? It's a decision you would have to make if you happen to pull him, or you want to pull him, but all of your DPS units happen to have an attack buff. So here, we're going to use Megumin's Orb Change, and then the rush on Megumin with Trainee, and then we're going to get her away, because I don't want that skill sealed next turn. And we have a whole bunch of Kazuma orbs, so that works. We can get an ult with him. And I think, actually, we'll try and get him an ult as well, just to see how much damage he does. I didn't do that with Aqua's Showcase, because they are, support units. Okay. What do I want to do here? I think we're going to Kazuma change, and then swap Trainee. Okay, what do I want to do here? So we're going to swap Raphael. We're going to Megumin change and Kazuma change. And then we're going to swap Megumin out. And use this. Yeah, and rush her ult. Actually, no, will this go to her? Hold on. Will it go to Trainee or will it go to her? 87, I think it'll go to her. 87, 11, 5. No, okay, yeah, it will. Cool. We'll do that. Push her ult even further. And then we'll swap Shizu in for Megumin. And then we'll use Trainee's Orb Change. And that'll get us a nice hand here. And we'll see if we can't build Kazuma back up to some semblance of an ult. But let's watch it for now. It's nice that he does bring in Rimuru, because obviously Kazuma can't do crap by himself. So Rimuru is just being his own support unit within an ult for a support unit. So supportception, right? Also, I feel like this should have been an AoE. Like, the camera cuts back a lot. He's dropping arrows all across the place. So I feel like they could have made him an AoE unit. It wouldn't have been a stretch to do that, but sure, whatever. He's a single target. Not much we can do about that. Alright, Trainee has an ult as well. So let's bring Megumin in for Shizu. And then let's rush her ult again. Oh, that went to Kazuma now, because he doesn't have the debuff. Okay, well, sure, whatever. What's the next orb? It's an orange. Okay, we can still make that work. So let's use Kazuma's Orb Change. We'll get Megumin out of here. And then Trainee again. She's going to have her skill sealed this turn, though, which is not the greatest thing in the world. But we do need a 5-hand of blues plus her ult, because I need that ult out of there. Kazuma is close to getting another ult because of, the errant skill usage that I did. Alright, 14-6 with a Pierce. Alright, cool. And a counter. But he guarded it, so, I mean, that's cool. We got a hand with no blues, so that's also pretty cool right there. Alright, so now we have to leave Trainee up front, because we kind of have to... We kind of need her. So... what can we do? What can we do here? I think another Kazuma change. And then a Megumin change from Kazuma. That's going to take that one. That's fine. That's not fine. Alright, well, we're going to leave her up here then. So 1, 2. Alright, so this will take the debuff off of Megumin. The debuff will go off of Trainee as well this coming turn, and then we can try our best to rush her ult. I don't know if we're gonna make it in time, though. Unless we get a bunch of her orbs next turn, alongside Trainee's skill. Okay, we took counter. Oh, well... we might be able to. Hold on. We can leave the skill. We can leave her up front. We can do the rush. We can do this. Oh, we don't have enough. Ah. Unfortunate. The good news is that Kazuma, because his skill is a defense-changing skill first off, it doesn't matter if he's sealed. But I kinda need Megumin here, huh? Alright, we might have to push an extra turn just to see what happens, because this I don't think will get her ult. It'd have to be like all 5 of them. Okay, well, not going exactly how I wanted it to. Ooh, Trainee. Okay. Rush the ult. There we go. Trainee needs to go away. I think we're fine. Like, I think Raphael will live, because Kazuma has even lower health. We can do Megumin's orb change. Another stack. How many points do we need for the full buff, though? So we got 8, 16, so 160, 270, 285 with, you know, this skill right here. Do we get 285 here? I kind of doubt it. No. No, we don't. So we are going to push. Or we would just reset. One of the two. We have not been getting lucky with blues this entire run. Alright. Okay. Alright, game. You got jokes. But I kind of need more than just one natural blue. Alright, we'll come back. Alright, we made it, finally. We have 2 more stacks of Rimuru, which is really nice, and we do happen to have a Kazuma ult just chilling in the back. So let's go ahead and use the Shizu buffs, because they're not gonna really hit Kazuma. Well, the Pierce power would, but we kind of want the Pierce on Kazuma to begin with. So we're gonna miss 15% Pierce power on Kazuma. It's fine, whatever, it doesn't really matter. We can go ahead and use the ult damage buff, because that is universal, and then it's only a personal buff on Megumin. And then we'll bring in Kazuma for Shizu. Alright. And then we'll use the Pierce power, or Pierce rate, and ult resistance down, and then the attack and defense down. And then we'll go ahead and send Kazuma first, and then we'll send Megumin last and see how much damage we do, and then we shall compare the same run just using light Milim and see the inferior numbers, but just how inferior will it be? I don't actually know. So Kazuma first, then this. I don't think we need a... No, we can skip it. It's fine. Kazuma does 302k. Alright, cool. Megumin, however, she's going to do quite a bit more than that. She's got the skill-fused Shizu buff and all that. She has the extra Pierce power buff, so she's going to do quite a bit more than 300k. And she's got an EX ult, so... How much? 2 million. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good right there. 2 million damage and some change. So now we'll come back and we'll see just how more powerful Kazuma is than Light Milim. Okay, so I wanted to verify. So I went into Predator Battle, low level, just to compare straight damage buffs. So here we are with 9 stacks, and this is the team with Kazuma, with Raphael, with Megumin, and Trainee, and Shizu, and we do 885,000 damage. And we can see we have the fire resistance down debuff, we have the AoE debuff that Shizu puts on, which doesn't matter, we have the defense down from Kazuma, and then we have the ult resistance down, and we have all the buffs active, and we do 885, plus the 10% fire charm. So if we go over here, well, over here, this is with light Milim. So we have the light resistance down debuff that Milim puts on, which has no effect because Megumin isn't light. But we still have the alt resistance down, we have the fire down, and we have the AoE down. We still have the fire charm, we still have 9 stacks of Rimuru, and we do 822. 885, and then with an extra 50% defense down, we only do 822, which is really, really pathetic. So defense down is probably one of the worst things you could use as far as enhancing your damage. It sure helps, I guess, but not by too much. And then, just as, additional science, I did go ahead and use Space Rimuru, right? Very, very generic, very old unit. He has his 40% attack buff on his skill right here, and we do 810, right? So yeah, his is 40%, Milim's is 5% higher, so the difference between that and Milim isn't going to be that great. It's about, what, 12k right there? No, well, yeah. Yeah, 12k, whoop-de-doo. But, like, 885 to 810, an OG start of service unit versus a brand spanking new premium EX unit, and there's only a 70k difference right here, 75k difference in between big time nukes. Like, that's not great. That's not great. I know 85k seems like a lot to a lot of new players, but when we're talking this many stacks of damage, this many buffs on a single unit, this number being anywhere close to this number in the same 100,000 range is pathetic. All right. So I just want to really reinforce the fact that Kazuma, as a unit, he looks good on paper. Because, oh yeah, big 50% attack and big 50% defense down, it's going to hit so hard. When realistically, it's not that much more damage. And again, this is a premium summonable unit. He has been in the game for 2 days. 2 days he's been out. And he's putting up numbers that almost look like units that are from January of 2023 and October of 2021. 21! Kazuma, I guess that's his quirk, right? Most of the units have some weird quirk. Megumin stuns herself for a turn. Darkness can't hit anything worth shit. Kazuma just has not a great skill for 80 skill points, right? There's no other way to really put that. His skill is just not that good. But we'll continue to use him, because we're going to put him on at least one more team. But at this point, he is easily the worst summonable unit out of this meta, and it's not even close. Not even close. Aqua shits on Kazuma. Megumin double shits on Kazuma. And Rimuru is, is a protector, and he's a stacking protector, so he's not really, it's not fair to compare him. But Kazuma is, if you don't have Kazuma, don't worry about it. If you have Light Milim, if you have Space Rimuru, if you have any other unit that can buff attack of any sort, you don't need Kazuma. Unless you really need a green orb changer, of which case then you would just use Rimuru. Right? Rimuru. He's free. He's really good and he's free. So, okay, yeah, well, let's continue the disappointment, and we'll put him on another team and see if he can make up for it a little bit. Alright, we're going to test him on the water team since he is a water unit, and we can, help Hinata hit even harder. So Hinata does have a personal attack buff of 25%, but obviously 50 is better than 25, so we're just going to make her hit a little bit harder, alongside her crit damage, alongside the water attack and crit rate and magic attack and the ult damage and extra ult damage and the water attack, and then the defense down, and then the extra 25% attack that Kazuma's going to give. This team shouldn't have an issue with points, it's just that this is not a set starting hand stage, so it's going to be a bit. Alright, let's see if we can make something happen here. So Kazuma is replacing Water Rimuru as our green orb changer. We just don't have a stealing unit now, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we'll just have to make do. We're going to bring you in for Shuna. We'll use your orb change, And then next turn, I don't know what we're going to do. But we're going to leave Shion and Valentine in so we get maximum protection gauge, which I guess we didn't really need because we're going to cap out anyways with Shion. So I probably could have swapped him in, or swapped her in for Valentine. Alright. What does... Oh! Alright, well this is the run. It was meant to be. Okay, so let's do a stack of the alt damage here, and then we can take out Shion for Shuna. Yes, alright, perfect. We'll orb change here, and then we'll swap out Shuna for Kazuma. And we'll be looking pretty good right now. Alright, Milim, cool beans. So stacking water attack. So ideally we'd have 80% alt damage plus the 70% from Shuna, and then all the additional stuff. I mean, this should work. I've been told that defense down works better for crit damage units and not pierce damage units, so I guess we're going to test that out here. Because you can't pierce this stage, but we are supposed to crit, and Hinata does seal crit resistance, which is still only one of 2 units to do so. Okay. Ooh, we can't do anything about that hand. But we do have to get Hinata out of here, because I don't want the debuff on her from turn 3 to turn 4. So you're going to go away, and we'll just send these oranges, and we'll make the most of it, I guess. So we'll do this, and then, yeah, we'll just send these. Hopefully we get a good hand next turn. Alright, 182, not great. Alright, there's a seal again. Okay, we have 3 greens. So that is one slightly bad thing with this team. So let's do another stack of the alt damage. Let's just send the 1 green orb. That way we can guarantee that we have a full hand next turn, and we can make it work. Okay, and then we can actually take Shion out for Hinata. Goodbye, that way she doesn't get an ult, because I don't really want that. And then we'll use Kazuma's orb change, and we can do the 3rd stack of Valentine, so we're actually almost done with her, which is quite nice. Alright, and then, yeah, we just have to go to turn 8, and we'll have our last stack of Valentine either this turn or the next turn, whatever we have for points. Oh, okay. Sure, that works. So let's do these 2 stacks on Hinata, that we can get her out and maybe get another full hand of blues. Maybe, depending on what the next orb is after this Kazuma orange. Let's see. How much... We'd normally do like 400k here or something with Hinata and the full power Valentine. Interested to see how much we do now. So there is the final stack with Valentine, so we don't need to use that anymore. So she can go away. Please be a blue. Oh, it is a blue. Look at that shit. All right, this is a blessed run right here. Just enough points to do all that. Excellent. Excellent. All right, so max points, another stack of Milim. Still, we got another turn after this. Can we get another full hand of blue? Oh, we could. We actually could swap out Shuna. Oh, wow. God wants this run. Alright, before we swap out Shuna, though, let's not be an idiot. Let's use her orb change, and then we will swap out Shuna. Alright, then we'll use this stack of Milim. No matter what, I can only send 5 blues here, so there's no point in keeping anything else. So we'll do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I had to take Kazuma's weapon off and put it back on Hinata, so he just has a normal 6-star sword, so he will not hit terribly hard. And we've also not gotten that many stacks, which is... I feel like that's weird. No, because we had to send that 1 hand of full oranges, that's why we're down. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have 7 stacks, right? Yeah, 7 stacks. So let's do this. We have enough points to do everything, though, so it's not a super huge deal. So, right? Yeah, okay, so, well, hold on. 55, so that's 110. 165, 180, 260. Okay. Yeah, we have enough. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, cool. Math is hard, okay? I never said I was good at math. I always say that I'm terrible at math. Alright, and let's bring Shuna in. And then we'll send... Do we dare send Kazuma first? How much health do you have? No, we're gonna send Hinata, because Kazuma would kill. Alright, Hinata has 80% right here, 8% from the charm, 70% here, and then she has the water attack, 50%. What? Only 5 stacks on her? Hold on. Is that right? Is that right? Hold on. No, sorry. No, here it is. It's up here. 7 stacks. The water attack 50 is from Shion. Guaranteed crit, magic attack, crit damage, and then you can see that her own personal buff gets wiped out by Kazuma's bigger 50% buff. So, I think we're going to do like 500 something here. Somewhere around 500k, 550 maybe. I would be quite surprised if we did 6. I think I would be very surprised if we did 600,000. What does Dead End Rainbow do for us? 594, just shy of 600k. Okay, that's pretty good right there. Because yeah, normally I'm used to seeing about 460 on this team without Kazuma, and we're using like either Raphael and not having the Pierce on her, or we're just using like Rimuru for the orb changing, the pure orb change. So just shy of 600k, it looks good on this team, and it can probably look good on maybe another blue stacking team. We could put them. Okay. Well, let's take a look. Let's cut and we'll take a look. Okay. Well, because most of the blue stacking stages that I could take this team into are Pierce focused and nerf crit in some way or another, we got to go back to Predator Battle. So we're on the Warriors Mind team, you know, a blue stacking team, the 1.5 anniversary team, and a team that doesn't have someone that lowers defense or just gives straight up attack to Guy. So we have subbed out EX Rimuru, so it was kind of difficult getting an EX ult for Guy. But for this turn, we're going to just use the 3 primary buffs from Violet, Valentine, and Guy, alongside 3 stacks of Shion, and then we'll come back later down the turn when we have another EX ult, and we'll add on the Kazuma attack and defense down, and we'll see what the difference is here. So Guy, we'll send these for now, just to get the extra points. What does Guy do? We haven't watched his ult in a while. This is just another reason why I really wish they would just keep all the hard stages. Like, why restrict it to every month? Newer players are going to pull units that could be efficient for those stages. I don't see the reason why you take them away for 7-8 months. 892,000 damage. Okay, so that's the baseline, 892. Let's come back when we have another EX ult and we'll add Kazuma into the factor. Alright, we are back for the final part of the video. We're about to put the 9th stack on top of Guy, and we already have the 15% crit damage just like we had last time. So now let's do everything plus Kazuma's buff and see how much higher we hit, of which I don't remember, it's like 800 and something thousand. So if we can do 1,000,000, then I will consider that a win. If we can do 1,000,000, then I will forgive Kazuma, because reasons. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so Guy has 8% from the charm, 80% from himself. We have 135% attack from the stacking, 15% crit damage, physical attack 50, crit rate, an additional 50% attack, and then 40% crit damage. And then we have the resistance down, defense down, and ult resistance down. So, can we hit 1,000,000? Let's do it. We hit 1,000,000. Okay, so that is more impressive, using all of those buffs for Guy rather than putting it on the Pierce team with the current meta, which makes not a whole bunch of sense, because, the Konosuba team is not a crit-focused team, it's a Pierce team, and crits, apparently, they mean a lot more. I mean, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, right? Crits have always been a better multiplier for damage than Pierce, so I don't know why they would stick Kazuma with a debuff that helps crit more than Pierce, even though his team is built for Pierce. Okay, fine, whatever. Alright, you can put him on the Warriors Mind team. He is another orb changer, so, I mean, we've used the whole team except for Rimuru, so getting EX ults for Guy is kind of hard. You can't use the orb swap, you can't give him 100% ult gauge just immediately, but if you can manage it, then you can make him do some decent damage. So, Kazuma. Still, I think, not a priority unit for most players, especially since most stacking teams, as you can see, are more Pierce focused than anything else. So, is he a good unit for general purpose use? Technically, on paper, yes. Do I recommend you summon for him specifically for that reason? Not really, no. Not when, OG Space Rimuru can give almost the same kind of buff. Milim is a thing. Albus does have a double orb change for green to blue, and she has the Pierce resistance down, which is powerful in its own right. There are other options for this Kazuma that you can swap him out for. So he's good. He's not terribly amazing. He does need a specific team for him to be at true maximum potential, which is not a Pierce team. But yeah, I'd probably give him like a 7, a low 7 for now. Cat is pissed. All right. Well, yeah, low 7 Kazuma. Easily the most skippable unit on the meta so far. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But that's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.